All right, I'm in the Metropolitan 9-hole cup. I'm in Friday's qualifying round. I'm in pro. I'm in my odd account. I'm trying to get my odd account to tier 3 in pro so that my buddy Dunner and I can get matched up. And we'll see how it goes. I'm not sure how many 9-hole cups you have to, or how you have to place. I did win one, and I thought for sure that'd take me into 3, but it didn't. All right, hole number 1. So hole number 1 in rookie, I'm playing this route. Trying to get a bounce up here, trying to hit the rough and then bleed onto the green, but I can start like from the tee box. I can start out in this area, like that's my max red line, drawing a line to the tee. And so I'm trying to make up this distance, which I can do with an extra mile. But I think in pro, like if I brought out the same ball, a 5-power ball, it's got to be the same distance as it is from this tee to this tee box. So we're talking about like somewhere out in this area is my max red line. So that means if I want to set up over here, I got to set up on this side. So I got to go at this angle. And to make up that distance, I'm definitely going to have an APOC. But an APOC's not going to get me that distance. Like I might be able to shoot for this area. I think there's a way to come around this way and try and go for this area where you're coming in up at the top. I'm not sure, but I think in pro, like maybe the best I could do would be to get into that spot. If the wind's going with us, I'm gonna go for the spot. We'll see. I'm gonna just play it by ear. We're gonna go have some fun on this one. So let's make sure I got bag number 1 and I got a berserker. Brrr. Jack campers. It's cold outside. Well, we're coming up in our deep summer. Not quite yet. July and August are pretty heat prone. I suppose you could go that way and try and take it down. Like that might be the way. But you'd have to get enough to get it. I mean, that's with all the topspin, and I can't see. I'm definitely not getting any flight. And I was trying to hit that perfect. So if it made any bounce right there, that, as far as I was concerned, that was bonus stuff. It's not good that it's unfortunate that I tailed off into the rough, but I can't believe that I hit anything but rough on that first shot. I was so far on the inside. It was like an 8-mile-an-hour wind, and I went out with that club at 7.5 for a ring set, and I went out 5 rings, maybe a little more. And I left myself like 3 rings on the inside, but I think that was like a 4 ring. That was good. That wasn't even good. That was almost a mini slice. And it was right on there. It was going the right direction. You can see where I ended up down there in the rough. If I'd have been one out where I could have hit the fairway on that first bounce, it really would have launched me through that area. I think that's the way to go. And it's definitely one of those deals where rod distance and topspin make a difference. Right, there's max. There's max. There's mid. There's 3/4. I don't think I have enough topspin to get me there. I don't. It's 2. I have no idea if I should be adding anything on. There's 2, 4, 6, 7. Hit it 2 rings great to the left. And I have no idea, that could go in. It's doing a bunch of weird shit on those little hills right there where it's bouncing around. And every time it bounces off one of those, it's changing direction. It's definitely not a good way to come at it. They could come out with a ball that has a ball guide assist, and this ball gives +1, +3, or +5, or whatever to your ball guide. So if you have some club like this, might be a great hole to bring out a Guardian, but a Guardian doesn't have a really good ball guide. So like if you're doing one of those really big backspin shots where you know it's going to suck back, you don't get any read on it. It could be like coming right back or drifting back. You can get a read on it with a thorn because it's got such good ball guide. And if you brought out one of those balls, you could play that hole and it gives +2 ball guide. So it changes the 3-9 to a 4-1, and that's huge. Once you get over 4, that's where it starts to flatten out, and you really start to see the deal that you don't get at 3, because there's still a big bounce left after 3. But after 4, there's not really any bounces left. They're just little teeny ones. They're just little itty bitty things. Almost like slides, like it's rolling. Rolling. Hit it perfect, goes in. Hit it 3 rings great to the left, and it might go in. See how it stopped and then it rolled a little bit one direction? It stopped, and then when it first stopped, it rolled down the hill for a bit and then finally caught the slope, picked up enough momentum to catch the slope, and then started breaking off to the right. Alright, hole number 2. Hole number 2. Hole number 2. We got to shoot a -13 as a minimum, but we need to pick up as many as we can. I love this hole, and I played this hole the other day. So in the past with an extra mile, and an extra mile works fine here, but you can't put on all the topspin with a Kingmaker. You can get right to the shadow, and you have a shot with your sniper coming up to the cup, or excuse me, coming up to the cup, where you have a window for your sniper. Now depending on how far you get up there, even if you get mid shadow, shit, you might be mid sniper. I mean, you can have a little bit of room up here, trying to come at the cup low and use left hand side spin to bring it back up the hill. But I've been shooting with my APOC, I've been getting up into this quadrant, and where I was at yesterday was actually when you come through, you're working this line, and so draw the line for the shadow across. When you come out right here in that sunshine, I was right there the other day, and that's long iron, and it was max grizzly. And it was nice having a grizzly because it did give you ball guide to get to the cup, and there's so much movement on the green. I thought about bringing out a Goliath because it's got more distance, but the ball guide's lacking, and I don't think any of my other long irons have better ball guide, or anything over. If one of them had 4, it would be it'd be worth it. Yeah, that's it. They're all in the 3s. So if I don't get to that spot, I'm gonna definitely be in minimum wood. All right, so I'm gonna take. What was I thinking? I'm taking that bag, and I'm taking a Kingmaker, Heartbreaker. APOC Kingmaker sniper is 1-to-1 plus 15%. 3 left hand side spin, 3 back spin. On the drive, doing max everything. Max. Open up a chest. Get another one rolling. All right, hole number two. Hole number two. Let's see if we can win a trophy here. I liked it better when there were shootouts. Even though I forfeited a lot of shootouts, there's still a lot of shootouts that I played. And I definitely played shootouts in like these qualifying rounds, or like if you were still working on a hole. Like if you felt like you had that hole, like, man, if I set it up and I get it perfect, everything's right, it goes in the hole, and you really feel like you got that, you make it, and it's just, oh my gosh, from pro, I'm so far back. I actually think this bag, is that the only bag I have it in? That bag might work. Got more top spin. So from pro, it'll be easier to bounce it over from this and try and get to that same spot that I've been trying to get to in the past. 4-7. I'm going to do, it is 4-7. That's 3. I'm going to do 3.5 rings. Just see if I can get out there, if that grate doesn't kill me. And it's not on the first shot, it's on that, where that second one is. That what the deal is that I barely had a window there with my sniper, and so I won't have a window there. I'll have to hit off the other island and then bring it back over. I won't be able to make the green side. Now if I had, I don't even think with the Horizon I could have made the green side, because it's, or a big dog, I don't think I could have made it. I used to bring a Guardian on this hole because you could make it over to that spot. We'll see what the distance is, but I know that I'm short. I'm going to have to bounce it over. But my opponent's in a badass spot. No, I'm saying bad spot. It depends. There's the fairway that I'm trying to hit to. If they can make it up to the front of this, they can make it over. They can recover. But if they can't make it up here, they're in trouble. See how you can bring it down the hill and like ride it to the cup? It's right on the inside. It's 1-to-1 plus 15. That'd be 7.5. Trying to find my Thor's hammer. It's 1.6. Sniper 5.5. Getting it perfect. I was looking for my Thor's hammer numbers earlier. Why was I thinking I was in Thor's hammer right there? Yeah, that went fast. And I don't mind being on the fringe here and taking putts. There are some spots on here, it doesn't look like it's that bad from here, but there are a couple spots on here that you don't want to have to take those putts. That's the first time I've had to take the shot off of that island in a long time, because in Ricky you can make it over to the green side. So there's got to be a way to do the same thing. If you can bring out, especially on tailwind days, I could have brought out a 5-power ball and tried to get over to the other side with the max overpower shot. Then I would have ended up in the same exact area that I would in Ricky. I actually could go for more distance. I think from the side they're on, if they want to do if they have a rapier, they'll have to put backspin on it and get up close to the hole. I don't think it's a hole you want to do topspin on. Isn't it perfect? El perfecto. I probably should look at my notes, but my notes aren't helping me from the difference in pro as far as like where I'm at on my second shot. The whole goal is you can play rookie and find out where you need to be on your second shot, like where's the optimal spot, and then you can go, okay, what does it take to get there? You know you're not in the optimal spot when you can get there farther. You can go farther. Grace to the left here might still go in. Alright, winner, winner, chicken dinner. Eagle. Hole number 3. What is hole number 3? Alright, we can get the eagle right here. We can. Let's see what I have for ball inventory first. Because you can do this with a 3 power ball, but it's easier to do with a 4 power ball with side spin. And I think the only thing I have is 3s. I don't think I have many 4s. I'm just going to bring out the Kingmaker lookalike, and we will do it up with that. And I will do it with my APOC, my number 5 bag. Alright, and if I remember correctly, I'm putting on 2 top spin. Now, I have 2 ways I can set this shot up. I need to think about this. There's 2 ways to set this shot up. And in rookie, I can do one thing, but in pro, in rookie, I actually think I can bring a 3 power ball and not have to do any overpower. I just have to put on more, because I think I have enough curl. But I'm going to be back. Let's see how far back the tees are. So, I mean, if we can get up into this zone right here with our red line, now we're going back this far. I mean, we're like in here, we're in here. So now we're trying to drive it straight up. Like getting into this spot right here in pro. If you brought out a topspin boost ball, if you could get all the way to the tip of that, you could try and get over this and leave yourself a shot out here in front. You can pick up the angle if you can get close enough here. If you're going on this trajectory to get this angle to go to the cup, if you hit it just right, you can get that with an APOC. Let's see what I can do out there. I'm not opposed to taking the curl shot just to see if it's possible to do it, and if it's not possible, then I'll have to go for the forward shot. But let me have a backup plan. The backup plan is straightforward with a berserker. I have no idea which way it plays. Never played these holes from the pro tee. Although I did play a couple of them the other day, and I was playing some one-on-one in 77, and I caught a couple of those holes. I like playing Tour 7. It's just right. Yeah, see, what kind of distance do I have there? And I think that's the shot. That's 5. I'm going to do a 6 ring pull, 6 miles per hour. Put the wind back in. Slight curl. Isn't it perfect? That's probably too much curl. On that second bounce, it'll clip the rough right here. I expected it would clip the rough, but I was hoping that I would roll out in front. No dice. But I put some overpower on it. Max overpower. I had room to put max overpower on it, but I decided at the last minute not to. I'm not sure what the angle is, what the look is down there, but that's definitely the way to go at it. And the way to go at it is to bring a topspin boost ball. Because even in a worst case scenario, you just bump rough bump, that bounce out just like my opponent did and get right to there. That's what I was thinking. I would have had to do max overpower to get to that spot. Alright. This is where I would use my putter in real life. Five, 9. I'm going to do a full ring pull. That's 6. A little bit of curl. And 75 rings straight to the left. Alright. Alright. I probably would have chipped that on. I use my putter for more than just putting though in the real world. There's several shots. I live in a forested area. There's a lot of trees, a lot of woods. There's a lot of golf courses that are in the woods. And so if you're just in the woods, sometimes you're in the underbrush. You're in stuff where you can see the ground level, but if you hit it up, there's a lot of stuff in there. So if you got a club that can hit the ball really low to the ground, so I will use my putter. I was going to hit it great one way or the other. That was the side. I wasn't sure if wind was going to be a factor. I'm not sure if perfect would have went in. I should have offset it and went, because the wind was blowing from the right hand side, I should have offset it on the right hand side of the cup. So if wind was a factor and I still had a perfect, it would have went in on the left hand edge. All right. Okay, just the minimum score, just the minimum. Have we picked up one? I think we did pick up one. I think, maybe. No, I don't think we did. I'm not sure we did. Alright, this hole is definitely a horizon. And it does work better with a 5 power or a 4 power ball, but I don't think I have a big selection of 4 power balls here, so I may just bring out a Zerk. I'm not sure. With a 3 power ball, you can make it, but you got to dig all the way down in there. I'm going to start off with a 3 power ball and see if that gets it done. If that doesn't get it done, then I will bring out first hammer and a horizon. I think I need to bring out an APOC on this. Because I think on the drive you need as much. I'm trying to get in front of there's a sand trap that's there, and I'm trying to start off in front of that. APOC, 4 power, horizon, 3 power ball. With the power 4 ball, I was pulling back from the red line a little. I was pulling back to the plus 16 mark. Do a 1 3/4 backspin, 1 right hand side spin. And I'm pretty sure I was doing a little extra on the drive, but I don't have it written down. Now I do. My opponent, yeah, and you can take this with, if you can get down, the deal is, if you're trying to bounce over to the green, you can get this done with a marlin. It's easier to do with a bigger power ball. The drive shot here, we played a hole here a couple tournaments ago, and one of the par fours that was in that game, it starts off very similar to this hole, where you're starting off on the left and you got to bring it around. But if you bring out a big enough stuff here, you can start in front of that. Well, you can in rookie, but I'm sure you can't in pro, so we'll have to do a blind curl shot. That's what we're going to have to do. Even from where my opponent's out up there, they have, I don't know that I like that shot from there. I want to get down into that area. I do. 6. It's 1.5. There's 3. There's 6. There's a 10% pull. Hitting it perfect. Let's see if I can do a blind curl shot down into that area. Ooh, I barely clipped that rough. Barely. Over curled it. Cool. That's cool. I could go out. I was like I was pinched up right there. I could be like, from where I was out, I could be like maybe 2.5 rings, maybe even 3, and make that curl around. Now I'm totally screwed. I mean, I've dropped the shot off a minimum now, because there's no way to get over there. That's, even if you make it down to the spot down there, you're in wood and you need to be in a long hitting wood, otherwise you're hitting over like my opponent. You have a shot at it, but the best shot is to get down into that cup so that you can use a horizon and do a rough bump. And I may just put myself in the perfect spot for that shot, unless my opponent makes that. He was robbed. That was like, I don't want to see that. Okay, where I really wanted to get, so we can see the shot, because I got just as good a shot at making this as I do making any of the others. And you don't necessarily have to get all the way to the very bottom, but that's where I'm trying to get. And from that spot, my horizon, I just wrote those numbers down with a 3 power ball, or 3, it's 2.2 per ring. So it's the wind divided by 2.2. Minus 0.1. I'll do the wind first. 5.4. I'm going to move it 2.35 rings. .35. See if we can get a little lined up. There's 2.25. There's 3.5. Hitting it perfect. See if we can recover. And that was a slight overpull, and I just played it at its club. It was at max club at 2.2 per ring, and I took off one, minus 0.1. I should have checked, because I might have been more towards mid club there, and mid club would have been, where is it? Mid club would have been 2.6 instead of 2.2. And 2.6 would have been, instead of a 2.35, it would have been a 1.97. So basically 2 versus 1.35. 1.35. versus 2, so 0.35 rings, and I don't think I was that far off. Maybe close. All right, that was dropping one off minimum score, no matter how you slice it. Hole number 5. Had fun though. Okay, I gotta think on pro. On pro, there's no way you can get over to here. I suppose if the wind was blowing like this, you might be able to get over there, but I doubt it. So in pro, we're going to be hitting from here, trying to get it over. And there's a second bounce rough bump you can do to bleed it out, but I'm not sure what size ball you need to get there. You might be able to bring out a big power ball and not have to do any overpower. You might have to bring out, if you bring out a 3 power ball, you might have to do overpower to do it. And if I remember correctly, it's a tricky second shot. I actually like the second shot best from right here. But I don't think we're going to be able to get there today. You can do a layup and lay up out here, and it's not always easy to get to that layup, as believe it or not, just jumping across or bringing it up in here and trying to bring it around. But you can do a layup here and open the path up. But here you're in like short iron. I think this might be wood, but it's at least long iron. And it's a pretty, there is a rough bump, but it's a rough bump. It's at the top of comes up like this, and it's at the top of that sand trap, and the sand's right here, and that rough bump is up here at the top, and it's pretty brutal. But there is a rough bump up there. I don't know if I would use it. We'll wing it. We'll wing it and see if we can just make it. That wind is definitely not conducive. I don't know that I can even get over. Can I get over? There's that second bounce. Man, I'm with that wind. I don't know. I mean, it's going to push me back, but I'd rather be up in this area. It's going to push me back 5-1. There's 6. Puts me 3 rings into power. Shit, I don't think I can make it. And I definitely can't make it on a 2-ring grate to the left or right. I can't believe it made it past that. Headwind and tailwind kill your ball here. At least they do on the other side, and they do there too. So the wind was blowing 6. It's actually like the headwind part of that. So that's about a 45-degree wind. So the wind that's actually affecting you, you know, like really pushing you back towards the tee box is like half that. So it's like 3 1/4. And the wind really feels like it's like that 3 1/4 should be doubled. But the side wind is not affecting you quite as much, so it's not putting you as far off trajectory. So if you doubled it up and you moved it for like a 13 pull, you wouldn't necessarily need to take out all of that side movement. It just feels that way. You really want to take it. You would really want it to be so that you took it off evenly, but it sometimes feels like that's not the way. My opponent went for the layup shot that I talked about, and you can do that with any ball. Here's that rough bump I was talking about. I don't even know if you can you get a read down to it? Yeah, you can. Where am I at in my Spitfire? There's max. There's max. There's mid. I'm like 4 per ring. I'm going to do a 1 1/4. +1. There's a 1 1/4 +1. Oh, fuck. 2 rings straight to the right. The way the wind was blowing there is even if I pulled it wrong, I was trying to keep it so that I could stay in the rough. Even if I hit a grate to the left or the right, it still hit the rough. There's some wind directions I probably would not have played on that hole. Arrgh. have seen that perfect. I think it would have blazed the cup on the left-hand side, but I think it would have been close. And they're putting overpower on it, and it's perfect. And they missed it, and they had that little bit of overpower on there. We got risky, and we did the rough bump with a sand wedge. Come on. Who else is willing to take those risks for your guys' entertainment? Come on. That's content you can only get here. I put some colors on my, I don't know if you noticed, but I put some colors down here on my curl grid, so I can make notes. I just made it a permanent deal. I had some temporary ones in there so you could go out temporary ones, but this way you can go like half a ball on the red, or the left edge of the ball on the red, or the green, or midway on the green, or Buster. My opponent is disappointed. Hey, bro. You can be on video. We just don't want you barking, man. Everybody said no barking. No barking, buddy. All right, hole number 6. Hole number 6. I practiced this one the other day, but I practiced it from the rookie tees, and let me think about what the change is here from pro. I don't think this has changed. I think I can come out here. I've been setting up with my big topper up in this area, 3 rings off, and in rookie, going on this line right here, trying to then bridge the gap and stay up, and ending up here, and where I really want is to end up right here, because I'm doing a horizon rough bump. So I mean, if I could get out to that area here, and I think that I can, because I've been able to do this with a 3-power 3-side spin ball, and I'm having to pull back from the red line quite a bit in order to get like my shot, because I'm so far forward that if I took a max curl shot, I'm down here. I need to pull myself back until I get the fairway into my view. I think I can just take a pretty similar shot to what I'm already taking, which is that bag and a 3-power. Now I did bring a topspin boost ball in my other account because the second shot is pretty problematic. I don't think you can quite make it if you don't have topspin boost, but you can. I'm not sure. I'm gonna bring one of these balls. Let's try one out. Let's try it out. Let's try it. How many people vote for try it? Buster? Come on, buddy. You want a cookie? Your sister wants a cookie. She's right here. Yes. Good puppies. Good puppies. All right, let's see what my opponent gets done here. They've got a 5-power topspin boost ball. Now they're switching to an extra mile. Or, excuse me, a Kingmaker. Yeah, that's about the area that I've been in. Probably just a little teeny bit farther forward. Did I write down any notes at all for this? Big topper plus 30 on the drive. See what the wind is. That is not a good place to be. You might be able to recover from there though. I think they can. I think they got to bounce off that island, but I think they can. Yeah, I'm going to be 3 rings off. Almost feels like I can overshoot that. 6.3, 5.46 rings. Max curl. Hitting it perfect. And that's about where I've been ending up in rookie. And like I said, I would like to be a little bit lower, and I could set that shot up so I could be a little bit lower. I could pull out away from the edge there, like 3.5. Pull it out a little bit and leave that topspin the same. I'd probably have to take off a little bit of topspin. You do run out of shit down there. That way my angle to this rough bump would be a little bit better. So on the second shot, I was at the 6 topspin, 3 power, plus 20 to the cup, times the wind, divided by horizon, max, the power 5 ball, 2.1. The wind is 6.4, so I'm going to do a 3.65 ring adjustment if I can get there. .65 rings. We're going to find out if I got my wind adjustment even close here. There's 3. There's 3.7. Isn't it perfect? I don't think I ran it far enough up to the cup. I have to go back and see where it landed right there, because it landed in front of that sand, and I don't think that was on the trajectory that I had on there, but maybe it was. But it seemed like it took a weird bounce in that rough. I don't know if I over pulled it or under pulled it. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that video and slow it down and catch that frame where it hit. But I think that first bounce was not where I was aiming, so I got pushed off. And I did a 20%, so I either over pulled it or under pulled it. Obviously, because it wasn't right. We'll be fine. We will be fine. And some topspin boost here. Get close. Perfecto. In the hole. All right. Recovered. I just need to take one bag and just go out and play some one-on-one. What hole are we on? What hole are we on? Hole number 7. What is? Okay, I have no notes for hole number 7, number 8, and number 9. That might actually help me here. All right, in rookie, we're trying to get onto this island, and then we got a rough bump shot to get up. But I think getting up there with a 3 power ball and a rock, so I don't have to use a big club, and I'm back from my red line. I think I might be able to get to that same spot with an APOC. Now I think my rock is like a 230, so I'm like 10 yards. I don't know what this distance is, but out here on the course, that's probably at least half of it. And I am pulling back from the red line in order to get, because once again, I'm like wherever my red line is up here where I'm at, I'm ahead of the shot. So if I put max curl and hit it perfect, I'd end up there. So I need to pull the shot back a little bit so that I open up the window. And I'm pulling along the line. So I'm using this as, here's my 2 rings off. So this is my slider line to try and get over to this area. And I've been coming at it a little bit up in the high quadrant right up here. Give me a little more. I have rolled off the tip, and you can recover from down there if you have a rapier, or excuse me, a Nirvana. I think we can get that same shot. I don't think, I mean, the only thing is that we'd have to bring out a power 5 ball if that's the case, since I don't have any power 4 balls. That would be the case, so yeah, that is the case. So let me just bring out a bigger ball. I'm gonna start off with a Titan, the king of balls, and see what we can get done with a Titan. I really don't want to have to use a bigger ball. And an APOC. What are my other options here? It's a little bit farther than my rock. I think my rock is no, they're the same distance. So having that extra raw power with the APOC is big. This Thor's hammer is 1 level away from like taking over. The only thing I will tell you that I like about a rock, and it'll make me stay with the rock for a long time, is that curl. I love that 98 curl, and it's got great ball guide. It's an awesome club when it gets maxed out. Okay. Let's open a slot. Empty a slot. Don't win nothing. Is that some carnival deal? You don't win nothing. What is the challenge? I'm not watching a video. Not right now. Alright, hold on 1 second. Alright, here we go. I don't even remember it now. I went and made some coffee, and now I've totally forgotten, so we'll just go play it with whatever I have. So with whatever I have, I should be able to get it done. And I have no information to the cup, but there's a rough bump to the cup, and it's but 1 shot at a time. It's definitely 1 shot at a time from the Pro Tee. So this might be one of those really good tournaments in pro where the scores are really low, because a lot of these greens, the layup shots are really technical, or if you don't bring out the right stuff. No, they should be fine right there. Because what power ball is that? That is a 4 power ball. They got plenty of room. Plenty. I don't have any info on the drive, but that drive's got to be at least plus 20. I'm going to start at plus 20. Times whatever the wind is. Let's not get greedy. 6.8 divided by 1.5. 1.6. 5.1. Let's see what that shot looked like here. 5.1. Perfect. I was slightly leaning to the left. I wanted, like, if it tailed off at the very end, if it had any hope for me at the very beginning of the shot, is that it would be slightly leaning to the left. I don't want to end up on the other side of that ridge, because it can roll over and roll off the front. I was afraid I was going to hit a grate to the right, And if I hit it great to the right, if I made it over there, I'd be riding that ridge, and you take the risk of it rolling over the top of it and rolling right off. But in the hopes that to the powers of golf, the deities that rule the course, okay, that has got to be at least a 10% adjustment, if not more. And if I do the rough bump here, I'm gonna have to do the rough bump even if I just rough it out, because like they brought a good ball for the second shot if they would have actually been on the fairway. Nice. That shot works. Oh man, I'm right at my red line. And I mean right at my red line. So if I did a 10%, I'm going to do 15. 1.15 times 7.3 divided by 0.9 per ring is 9.32 rings. I have no idea if that'll hit the rough. It seemed like for a second, oh man, it barely clipped it. Barely clipped it. I pulled out that wind and I wasn't sure when it got to the bottom of as it was coming down the side and it got to the bottom, it seemed like the rings, the sizes changed slightly. And I wasn't sure if it didn't seem like there was any distortion there. But it was weird when it rolled over the edge. I should have marked it from the other side and just pulled on, so I was pulling on the grass side. That was my error. The rings will start to jump though. Sometimes they'll start to jump. All right. We went for it though. Totally unprepared. I don't know that I would, I got lucky. That would be better with a side wind, because if you hit it great to the left or the right and you screwed the wind up, you're still going to hit the rough. But you can take that rough bump, as long as you don't overpower it or underpower it, you should be good to go. All right. Hole number 8. Got no practice on hole number 8 from pro, I'm sure. All right. Let's think about what I'm doing in Ricky. And Ricky, you can if you bring out a big enough ball. We're working with this distance. You can get over into this area with a power 5, but from the second tee, you can't get over there. So the best you could get would be here. But if you drew the line across, you could start off over here and then try and bring the ball around and then come up here. And this is where we used to hit for this. The new pin placement, this shot right here is not good, because the new pin placement is, you really want to be like right here. So like bouncing from here and then trying to just, even if you just land right there. Now where this new pin placement is, that sucks because the trees are in the way. And you got no shot. You'd have to get up into here, which means you got to get the bounce, steady bounce, and you don't want to end up on the green. I think in pro, for some reason, I just feel like this is the side to go to. And I would imagine that in pro, if you just bring out a big enough ball, you can put yourself pretty damn close up in this corner so that you can bring it around. I think you can just do it with an extra mile. But we'll see how far I can get up in there. I haven't played these holes I have played these holes in pro, but like actually sat and looked at the hole to think about where you can hit and what your angles are. I haven't played them like that, so I'm not sure what bag I'm using. I'm going to start off with bag number 5, because really the drive either works and you're within your wedge range, or your drive didn't work and then you're recovering, and all those clubs work, or that bag might work, because the wood's not going to come into play. I'm gonna start off with the Berserker. Just see what a power 5 ball can get us done. Man, that wind fucking blows. Here, hold on. Hold on. Am I gonna give you bonus content? Let's make sure we're playing that right. I'm gonna practice. Let's practice, man. This way we can see what's going on, and we can take our time. And I don't care if I make the first shot, and I'm not gonna burn a power 5 ball in the practice round. I'll just see what I can get with a mortal ball. And that'll tell us if the bigger ball, how much more the bigger ball will help us. I'm sure that with this headwind, yeah, the lower shots probably. Man, you're right behind the trees. Like there's no eagle shot. You can try and bring it around there, and so that you're hitting underneath of that one tree, but that is a freaking narrow shot. It can be done, but it is narrow. They're gonna lay it up, and even if I laid it up, man, there's no layup spot here. We got to get over. This is where one of the topspin boost balls would come in handy. You could get over. We'll see where it's at. We'll see where it's at with a 5 power ball, and then I'll take the shot with a 3 power ball, and we can see what we can get done with it. Alright, with a 5 power ball, I am in a good spot. So all the side spin and however much top spin I can get on. Where does that put me? That might overshoot me. Start off like up here. And it's going to push me back to here. So that shot's going to clip the rough on the other side with a 5 power ball. With a 3 power ball. Now let's bring out a 3 side spin ball. And get all the side spin. So I'm basically hitting from my red line if I overpower it. And we'll see if we can, how far we can get with a power 3 ball. We made it over against that headwind and landed right in the right spot. Perfecto. That shot will work. So if you can do it against a 5-6 headwind, you can do it against a, you can do it in any tailwind with a 3 power ball. So you don't have to bring out anything special. APOC. You could complement, if you didn't, you could, the reverse of that would be, you could bring out, if you had an upper developed rock, you could bring out a rock, and, or a Thor's hammer. Well, a Thor's hammer doesn't have as much curl. You could bring out a rock, and a power 5 ball. You could do it that way. Man, there are some wicked ass putts on that green. I'd like to get on this green where somebody's practicing and where I'm on this hole with somebody that I know, where we can try and get off the green and then chip it over into the really bad spot and like look at what the putts look like on that side of the green and spend like an hour just shooting video on this hole. I can tell you right now, if they let us practice all by ourselves, that's exactly the way that these videos, I'll be able to shoot a video over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. They'll have to put a limit. Okay, there's mid. Okay, this is one of those holes that you're going to have to put on a little bit of backspin. You get right up next to the hole. .2 divided by 2.4, 216. Do 2.5. Let's see where that put me. Okay. Oh, fuck. If I was going to hit it great one side or the other, that was the better side to hit it on. But definitely, I should have added wind on there. I hit a straight up shot. And I wasn't sure if I was at max club or mid club, so I played my mid number, but I was probably more towards max. And at max, I didn't pull it enough. And max would have been divided by 1.2. Would have been 433. Yeah, and I did half that. In the hole. I don't know what the book... I actually will tell you straight up front, I do not know what the book says on a rapier for the numbers for max and mid or any of that shit. I do have numbers for it though. Play hole. Hole number 8. Hole number 8. We did not get it done. That was hole number 8. Ah, we didn't get it done, but we can get it done right here. Alright, so what did we learn on that? What I learned was I didn't know where I was at in my club, so I think I was more towards max. And if I wasn't at max and if I was at mid, I need to add on like 20%. I need to add on a pretty big number. I need to go to max club or something. Alright, let's try that again. Let's try it again. Let's see if I can repeat that. Bag that I have. Epoch, rapier, kingmaker. All right. Hey, we can get it done. I can still get an eagle on this hole and redeem my round. I think I dropped one on minimum score on one hole, but I think I did pick one up. Let's see if we can get it right here. My connection is not stable. Alright, let's try again. Is my connection stable now? Alright, so I did a 20%. 1.2 times 5.8 divided by 1.5 is 464. And I put on all of the side spin and all of the top spin. 2 rings off. I was pretty close to just like being right with the wind, right along the line. I was trying to stay off so if the wind pushes me, so I must have been blue ring off. I'm just gonna overpower, max overpower. Hitting it perfect. Let's see if we can replicate that shot. Bounce number 1, bounce number 2. All right, now let's see if we can. Now let's see if I can redeem myself and actually be prepared for the shot. I got to where I wanted before. I do that a lot. Where you're working on the first shot, like where's it going to put me, and then you're in the spot that you're really trying to hit to, and you get to that spot and then you flub the shot up. If I could practice by myself, I would hit it back to that spot and I would practice that shot again. See if my opponent can make it over. See, I mean, you have to be in that sand in order to have a shot at that. I will say that while they're in the sand, if they were going to be on that side and make the shot, that's actually not a bad spot. Okay, there's max club, so I'm at max. So 5.6 divided by 1.2 is 4.66 rings. Got so much shit going on around me. Trying to get it in the hole. Okay, 4.66 rings. 466. And I hit a one ring great to the left. And once again, that, woo! That's what I'm talking about. That was, if you're gonna hit it great to the left is the side because it's on the hill. And at least it's sloping that way. So what that tells me right there is I needed to add on like plus 0.2. Because 10% there, what would 10% have been? Times, would have been 5.13. I guess that would have been 3, 4, 5 rings. 0.5, a half a ring. And that's about how far off I was down there, so I guess it is 10%. All right, what do we have ahead of us? So if I just go out, so I must have dropped something and picked something up because I haven't shot a very good round. No, hell, am I even gonna make it? We'll see. We'll see what hole number 9 is. All right. In Ricky, I'm being risky as hell, and I'm doing a shot that I'm absolutely positive will not work here. So in Ricky, I'm actually trying to get down here by getting as far as you can up into that dip. And I will tell you that if we've got a tailwind here, even from the pro tees being back, like getting a distance, you know, like here to here, this distance up here. So in Ricky, we can get all the way to the tip, and now we're getting here. Even with topspin boost, I think I've been making it down here on tailwind days with just a regular berserker. But if you had a topspin boost ball, you don't need a lot of side spin because you're trying to go, that's your angle, and you'd like to be over here. It's dangerous over here. You got to get, it's dangerous over there. It's better to think of your landing zone as like this area, not the tip. The tip is beautiful, but the tip is like, all kinds of shit can go wrong up there. You can end up in the drink. I think I'm going to have to just lay it up and then take a long iron, or excuse me, a wood. But if I remember correctly, you needed a pretty good sized wood to get over there. Wouldn't be a bad idea to bring. Well, I'm playing with that horizon, so I'm going to keep that horizon in here because it'll be one more hole to play it on. We'll see. I think I'm going to have to lay it up to the top, but I'm going to explore this shot down here. I don't think I have any 5-power topspin boost balls. I don't. No, I have 11 4-power topspin boost balls. I did buy a few. We'll try one out. Now, I want the biggest hitting, longest hitting shit that I got. Do I have an extra mile and anything else? I'd really like to bring a back topper there, but I'm losing some distance. I think it's got to be extra mile on that ball. And I want to bring my horizon. Off we go. And I got a clear slot. Never want to play without an empty slot. We're harvesting chest, and you don't want to go out there and we don't, in my opinion, there's a lot of ways that we don't win chest that we used to win chest before, at least have the opportunity to win a chest. So here we go. We'll practice it while we're out there, and we'll look at it, and we're just going to take the shots. I think I'm going to end up laying up at the top. And my horizon numbers, horizon 6 with a ball. see if that ball works. If that ball doesn't work, I think I'm going to just bring out with this wind, I'll just bring out a Titan. I'll play with my opponent's plan. And I think if you use the wind, you could actually do the shot right here. I think that wind is going far enough forward. Now if we take the wind, that we take the side direction out and then we push the wind back in. Perfect. El Perfecto. Let's see if you get it. Not a chance in hell. And that's probably makeable from there. It's worth going for. It's worth going for the shot down there. And if you don't make it, if you make it, all right. Let's see if we can get it done with that. I'd rather come out on the fat part right there. Okay, 9-4. I'm gonna do a 10-mile-an-hour pull. That grate to the left might not kill me if I can make it past the first bounce. Killed me right there, and now I'm in the drink. That is fucking hilarious. Alright, now we have to make it. Alright, that was my practice shot. Now what we want to do is we want to be good citizens right here. And we want to be super fucking quiet and super diligently watching our opponent and cheering them on. And hoping that they make that shot, which, man, if that shot goes in, I don't know how that works, because it seems like it's pushing them straight down the hill and they're not getting far enough back to it. Well, that same shit right there is going to happen. All right, now we have to get to the spot so that we can make our third shot. So let's not overshoot it this time. Okay, 9.7 times 1.2 divided by 2.1, 5.54 rings. Oh, and I hit it in the same spot. But I moved the shot over a little. Nope. Same spot. If I hit it great to the left, I hit it in that pocket and I missed the rough. But if I hit it perfect or great to the right, I can move it. I can move the shot more to the right. The problem with hitting to the right is you're coming in there pretty fast. And if it hits the rough, it may hit the rough and bleed out onto the green and roll off, and you're in the drink in the front. Alright, I get one more try at it though. This time let's get it right. Let's put 3. That's the 2 side spin. Okay, so I can change the wind is 8.7. 5 rings. Hitting it perfect. Let's see if that, I'm inside from where I hit before. Am I going to clip it? Clip the rough. Okay, yeah, that was what. Hey, we could have did that the first time. That's what we were looking for right there. Okay, so there we have it. If I make it to the next round, I'll know what to do on that hole. Thanks for watching. So I have no idea. So like in pro, like let's look at these holes, because in rookie it's a little different. I'm not sure how, what the score, like you can make this, even if you shot from up here at the top and got on, you're on in 2, you're going for eagle. I mean, that's an eagle hole all day, and that's a par 5. And this par 4, I mean, I think all the par 4s are makeable. Like that par 4, there is a way to get up there. This par 4, there is a way to set yourself up to do the rough bump and to get on. I'll go back and watch this video, and I made a ton of mistakes on this, but I mean, it'll help me because I'll know which club and which ball to bring out to get me to that spot. And I think I ended up in a lot of spots. I did end up in a lot of spots. Hole number 6. One of these par 5s I dropped a shot on. And this one here, we definitely have a shot at it. And is this par 5? Yeah, I mean, that's a par 5 we can definitely get the eagle on. I mean, we're shooting for eagle even from the pro tees. And this one here is the same deal. This par 4, you do have a shot at it. You do have a better shot from over here than you do from here, but you do have shots along this line. I'm not so sure that, like, the best, like, okay, if we want to play this a little bit different, I'm having to play pro, where our red line's down in here. I could try and bring it over to this fairway and try and run it up to the front, and you'd have to be in front to be in front of those trees, but you get a nice run. There's a trough down in here from how water runs through it, and you could come and look at it from that direction. I think the next time I play it, if I make the weekend round, I'm going to play it on this side. I'll just practice that shot and see what it looks like, because from rookie we'd always play to this side. Because if you're out here, even if you get to the rough out here, even if you could bring it around, even if you brought it from this area right here and got bounce number 1, bounce number 2, and launched it out into the rough, and you were right here, you got a pretty decent shot from right there. But that's not a gimme. This is a par 5. And we definitely have a shot. We definitely, okay, it's a blind curl shot. There's another hole in the game that, like I said at the time when we played this, where we're playing down into a slot like this. The other one, the green is right here. It's a par 4, and there's a rough bump that you can do if you're in the right spot out here. But here, if we can get down to the bottom and we bring out the right ball club combo, if we bring out a horizon, there's a rough bump that we can do from right there with like 7 topspin to get to it. You're very seldom, like, I don't know, I guess if you brought out a big enough ball and you were right at the very tip, you might be able to bring out like a big club and be on this side. But I think usually you're pretty close. You're right in here is where your red line's at, depending on what ball you bring out. Most people are going to have to hit off of this. If they're coming from this direction, they're going to have to bounce their sniper off. If you're playing from this side, a sniper is great. You can bounce it and then over that and then running it up to the cup. This angle from over here, every time I see people play it from this angle, if you draw a line to the flagpole, this is, in my opinion, like much tougher to negotiate. I know it's easier to hit the ball straight forward, and that you might be even inside of the arc on this side, but I think you're about the same distance down here from the cup if you're just on this pad. Now if you're going for this pad, that might be a different story. I don't know what that shot looks like. You can bring out a club where you could start off, if you could get to this pad, you could start off on this side and then run it right at it, like with your long iron. You might be able to do a rough bump here, but this is hilly, so I'm not sure if that would work. But you can definitely get an eagle on this. This first shot is a pure setup shot. You bring your, I screwed this shot up at the time, and I'm sure I ended up in the rough or the sand down here. You pull to your red line, and with an APOC, if you did a max curl shot, it's got to be like 4 rings. It's 3 to 4 rings, like 3.5. 3, just depending on how steep this angle is. And this is a pretty steep angle that you're trying to get into. And if you get too far into that shot by bringing out a bigger ball, then when you're applying it, now you're working on this angle, so you've taken out the middle of the fairway. Where you want to be is at the right distance here. I like to be in this quadrant. So if I draw that out again, so like here's the shot, right? This is the lane that we're trying to come through, right? And we're taking this elbow. So I like to get, like, if you think about, I like to be towards the bottom, like 2 rings off, and then pushing. I like to be 4 rings off when I'm doing a max curl shot. I'm trying to get my trajectory so that when it, hey, don't do that to me. All right, where were we? We're on one of these holes. I don't think there's any give-me's on like any of these holes, but I think all of these holes are like, I think the minimum score of -13. I mean, I'm not sure. Now, I will say that from the pro tees, and I'll have to go back and see how much I struggled on the second shots, but I really think it's possible from pro. I mean, if you can't get up here, that, like, you know, I think I was trying to go from here and bridge the gap and get down into this zone, but I didn't have enough. I needed to get farther up into the pocket. My club was diving. If that's the case, then my red line comes. Yeah, I think the minimum score here is -13. So we'll have to see how people end their round. I was gone for so long. I was sitting there mumble jumble. I was thinking about, I was zoning is what I was doing. Yeah, I'm really surprised at that score. How many people have qualified in that? Because I can't believe that'll even make it. I mean, half the bracket hasn't qualified. I'll say half the bracket hasn't qualified, so maybe. But I mean, minimum score should be -13, and there's a whole bunch of those holes we should have killer shots on. Alright, I'll watch this video and write down some clubs and some numbers, so in the weekend round I'll have a better line on it. Thanks for watching.